Hello, I'm the nostalgia critic guy. Remember, so you don't have to. Well, I don't usually get dressed up in my commercial attire unless I'm doing a commercial special. But somebody keeps popping up every single time I go looking for some commercials. I think you know the kind of popping up I'm talking about. Oh yeah, there's more where that came from. Another common phrase you might hear around him. Bill Cosby went from America's darling to one of Hollywood's biggest monsters. As such, there's a ton of ironic advertisements he was in, celebrating what a decent human being he was and capitalizing on it.
No, well, sir, if she says no, no means no.
Oh my God.
Like I mentioned, there's just so damn many of them, I couldn't keep spacing them out in commercial specials. So, in the special top 11 list, we're gonna look at the most uncomfortable, most cringy, and most collar-tugging TV ads, shorts, and yes, even PSAs he's been in. Why top 11? Because this dude deserves a lot more than that. So join me in this journey of bad taste. This is the top 11 poorly aged Bill Cosby commercials.
Jiggle, 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 those jigglers.
Jigglers, they're a handful of fun.
Jiggle, 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 those jigglers. Jiggle, 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 those jigglers. J-E-L-L-O.
Number 11.
You know what's so cool about Jello Gelatin Pops?
Yeah, Jello had a hold on Cosby the same way Cosby often had a hold of something else. And while there's not a ton to mock in this one, it is a little awkward hearing Bill Cosby telling you what you can do with your hands while he sucks on something.
While your right hand is doing this, your left hand can be doing this or, you know.
Or this, or this, or this, or this. Yeah, okay, that one's fair.
But if your left hand sees how much fun your right hand is having,
Call the police.
it won't want to be left out.
Oh, trust me, we've been trying to get other names out of Cosby for a while.
Now you have to share.
Again, not entirely convinced you didn't. Like I said, not the biggest list of easy material, but we got 10 left on this list, so let's not keep them waiting.
Jello Gelatin Pops. Real Jello Gelatin, only cooler.
Jiggle, 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 those jigglers.
Number 10.
Jiggle, 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 those jigglers.
High C. It's a sensible drink.
This one's from the Museum of Classic Chicago Television, which you should certainly check out if you haven't. And once again, there isn't a whole lot in this one, but the few moments that are, you remember.
Hi, being Bill Cosby isn't all fun and games.
Trust me, we're aware. With court hearings and lawyer briefings and clarifying what with intent means.
So, when they asked me to do commercials for High C,
I said think carefully, this might bite you in the ass later.
every 6 ounces of High C has 100% of the U.S. RDA of vitamin C. High C has 10% real fruit juice.
Just like the drinks he gave people, it has 10% actual juice. Like I said, there's not a ton more, but it does end on one hell of a final line he says to this kid.
It's a sensible drink. Don't you think so?
Yeah.
Who asked you to talk?
If he had a nickel every time he said that to a young person, he'd own High C. This is one of many Cosby commercials where he's surrounded by kids and many of their parents practicing the phrase at the time. Don't worry though, the list only gets worse.
Who asked you to talk?
Jiggle, 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 those jigglers.
Number 9.
Jiggle, 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 those jigglers.
What kind of grandfather am I?
Your legal team advises you not to answer that. This one is also super short, but it makes the awkwardness count when you just think about Cosby making anything for you and serving you with that devilish smile.
I made delicious new fat-free Jello pudding and invited the grandkids over to try some.
If they start to get a little tired after having it, that's just from all the running around. From me.
Invited the grandkids over to try some. Too bad they're in Hawaii.
I felt a great relief in the room, as if millions of parents cried out in terror and then were suddenly thankful.
Dessert is back and it's fat-free.
Guess what else is back? This guy trying to get a comedy special going. Speaking of which, join me at number 8.
Jiggle, 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 those jigglers.
Number 8.
Jiggle, 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 those jigglers.
Bill Cosby, best-selling author, TV star,
And cleanest inmate in Cell Block C.
in the hilarious comedy recording, Oh Baby.
Okay, that title is bad enough, but do you really have to have that face next to it?
And one of the funniest men in the world. Oh Baby!
Well, Cosby doesn't advertise the product himself in this one. He is the star of it, and, as you'd imagine, it leads to some awkward routines.
Bill Cosby on marriage.
There are things I'm not doing anymore.
We want to believe you.
And not because I can't, but because I don't want to.
Okay, that you're not going to sell anyone on.
Here's Bill on love.
Here I am dozing off. The first year, no way I would doze off.
Well, I think everybody sees the irony here, but continue.
But I love her more today than back then when I stayed awake.
So I figure if I turn the tables, maybe it'd equal more love in my life.
Bill Cosby gives his views on marriage, love, and skiing.
Skiing we can probably skip. The other two we're far more curious about.
On cassette is only $9.95, the compact disc only $14.95.
Oh, baby!
Can you stop playing that again? Image of Bill Cosby as the mask dropping his jaw like he just saw an ad for Quaaludes. Needless to say, the nice guy routine might be a little tainted from Cosby, but I think we're used to things being tainted by him at this point anyway.
Plus $2.95 postage and handling.
Oh, baby!
Stop that!
Jiggle, 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 those jigglers.
Number 7.
Jiggle, 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 those jigglers.
Attention, Pepsi drinkers.
Get ready for Coke stock to drop like the box office for Ghost Dad.
Introducing the new taste of Coca-Cola, the best Coca-Cola ever.
We really couldn't put together this guy was a liar. He was the first person to say New Coke was good.
That's all I'm going to say. In fact, that's all I have to say. No more words.
The last thing said after anybody questioned, why does this taste funny?
This stuff is great. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Yes, if there's anything you should apologize for, it's saying New Coke is good. Alright, that's also true, but you know there's more! Want to complete this unpleasantness? How about a little ASMR of Bill downing an uncertain liquid that we know deep down nobody should legally have in their mouth? He made that noise like, I know this ain't Coke I'm swallowing. I don't know who it is, but it ain't Coke. Yeah, I'm okay not hearing any more bodily functions from him. Next ad.
Jiggle, 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 those jigglers.
Number 6.
Jiggle, jiggle, those jigglers.
What's making these watermelons wiggle?
I believe a new law has made it clear nobody needs to tell you what's making certain melons wiggle.
Wiggle, wiggle, Jello, makes watermelon wiggle.
We just got past the Jigglers debacle. Do we really need to throw wiggling in there too?
Jello, makes watermelon wiggle. Jello, makes watermelon wiggle.
Nobody wiggled. Everybody just lay perfectly still. Wait. You might take that as an invite. Just stay away from him.
Wiggle, wiggle, Jello.
It's wigglicious.
A new law has also made it clear you cannot make up words anymore, especially wigglicious, tingle jingle, and bouncy bumpies. We didn't think these laws would have to be made, but that's the least of the surprises we got from you.
Hey, no bet.
Only the Pick Cosby's legal team continues to dig their way out of.
Watermelon wiggle.
Now you can have your fun and eat it too.
I believe Fun has filed a 20-yard restraining order against you, so I would rephrase that.
Makes watermelon wiggle. Wiggle, wiggle.
This is also unbearable. Let's cut to another ad. I'm sure we'll be even more uncomfortable.
Jiggle, 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 those jigglers.
Number 5.
Jiggle, jiggle, those jigglers.
Bill Cosby and Felicia Rashad.
So there were several attempts at Cosby TV shows over the years, and in 1996, a show simply named Cosby was one of them. And while there's certainly been a few uncomfortable moments,
Monday, get the bare facts.
Oh my God. There's a naked lady back there and you drawing fruit? Right. How old do I have to be before I get that disease?
oh, he's just so not who he really is. This one really takes the cake.
Sometimes Ruthie loves me.
Time out! Oh, wow. And it only gets worse.
If you want that party, you should come upstairs now while the hostess is still awake.
Well, that's not the usual tradition, but Cosby can work with it. Just look at his reaction.
Still awake.
That's usually the response he gives when the hostess is out.
Hilton.
Ah, the usual every woman who's ever known him treatment.
How'd I get on the floor?
It was an accident.
He held up his finger like an accident. Maybe that's what I can call it if I ever get subpoenaed. And after watching all that, aren't the words you want to see emphasize Cosby and big? Isn't that the equivalent of seeing the words Weinstein and shower together? Nobody talked about this show when it was on, but man, I'm sure people will be talking about this promo for a bit of time.
Cosby Big Comedy Monday.
Oh, baby!
Jiggle, 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 those jigglers.
Number 4.
Jiggle, jiggle, those jigglers.
Yeah, Bill Cosby's blindfolding a minor. What about it?
I finally found a way to keep a kid from knowing I'm making Jello pudding for myself.
Which means it's just pudding and nothing else.
First, I put on earmuffs to keep him from hearing the sound of milk pouring.
Milk pouring on its own doesn't sound dirty, but when Cosby says it, it kinda does.
I put on a rubber nose to keep him from smelling the rich chocolate.
Because my thought is no senses, no clues.
And a blindfold to keep him from seeing me while I eat my Jello pudding.
Let me use this rag to stuff in your mouth and...
Foiled again.
Don't worry, a legal loophole will get you out scot-free. Another one that's pretty short, but seats all your senses in the front row of...
Why not try our new Jello pudding recipe, Striped Delight?
I can think of a few reasons.
Jiggle, 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 those jigglers.
Number 3.
Jiggle, 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 those jigglers.
Before we start the Fat Albert Show, I'd like to have a word with you young people.
This is a segment from the Fat Albert Show, which Cosby would usually appear in to state the lesson. If you think Bill Cosby spelling out the obvious moral sounds strange, get a load of this.
Now, all of those people who are in prison right now,
Excluding me, right now, at the moment.
were kids once. And then somewhere along the way, they did something wrong, something dumb.
They got caught. Oh, I mean, they didn't have enough hush money.
Maybe it was getting mixed up with a bad crowd, or maybe it was shoplifting or stealing a car.
Or maybe it was something else.
Whatever it was, it probably started small, became bigger.
No argument here.
Maybe they even got away with it at first and thought they'd never get caught. But they were wrong.
Boy, he really should write another book. Are you there, Pot? It's me, Kettle.
Now, they're in prison.
Excluding me, right now, at the moment.
The prison isn't any fun and it isn't any joke.
There are people that call you Vanessa and admire parts of your body you didn't know could be admired.
So play it straight, gang.
Straight is something I can speak from experience many do not practice in prison. Yeah, this one speaks for itself. Prison is bad, and if there's one thing I believe Bill Cosby on, it's that.
That way you'll get where you want to go, not where you don't. Right?
Right.
Jiggle, 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 those jigglers.
Number 2.
Jiggle, jiggle, those jigglers.
This is Bill Cosby. Now that everybody has told you about the dangers of doing drugs, I'd like to tell you about some of the benefits.
Yeah, what a way to start! This is back when Bill Cosby had his hit series, The Cosby Show. And as such, he did some PSAs. This is a basic just say no to drugs one, but for some reason he describes all the terrible things about drugs as benefits. And I don't know why. I mean, I can speculate. He never builds up to a punchline. It's not like, ha, fooled ya, or it's a benefit if you're trying to die younger, something ironic like that. He just lists everything you're supposed to not like about them as something he sees as a benefit.
I'd like to tell you about some of the benefits. Just imagine yourself unconscious,
No.
making a visit to a hospital emergency room.
Who put me in that emergency room?
Weeks in rehabilitation centers, nights in overcrowded prisons.
Oh, now I see why all this happened. He read the cue card wrong and he took his own advice. It was supposed to read horrors instead of benefits, and he was like, oh, I didn't know this was all good stuff. Maybe I should get on that. Just see how many things he lists that happened to him.
Spending more money than you can afford, ruining your health, hurting your parents, losing your loved ones, and most of all, destroying yourself.
Whatever the reason, it makes for a pretty hilarious PSA looking back.
Remember what I say about doing drugs. I think you can say no.
And I think you shoulda. And the number one poorly aged Bill Cosby commercial is White Owl Cigars. First off, it's just really weird seeing Bill Cosby advertise cigars on TV. It'd be like seeing Ezra Miller in a television commercial for guns. Like, there's worse things you can connect them to, but it's just odd seeing a celebrity, this product, and television commercial together. The reason this is number one, though, is not even because he says like a ton of crazy things that can be taken out of context. In fact, he only says one thing. But he says it over and over.
Sooner or later, you're going to try a White Owl, and when you do,
We're gonna get you. You know we're gonna get you. It's only a matter of time. And then we're gonna get him, White Al. We're gonna get him. White Al, we're gonna get you.
There is nothing more terrifying than Bill Cosby standing over you with a lit phallic symbol repeating several times, "We're gonna get ya." He goes from goofball trying to be corny to a perverted Batman villain saying with pure confidence you will not escape him. It's just so unnerving.
We got you.
The smoke around him just looks like he's preparing a branding iron that says Grade A BC meat.
It's only a matter of time. And then we're gonna get him, White Al. We're gonna get him. We're gonna get you.
I have nothing to say. I'm just so uncomfortable watching this.
We're gonna get you. You know we're gonna get you.
If you played this on a loop, I guarantee every person who watched it would shit themselves in 3 minutes. There's no words to describe it except... that's not even a word, so there's no words to describe it. It just is. And it should not.
We got you. You know we're gonna get you. It's only a matter of time. We're gonna get you. And then we're gonna get him, White Al. We're gonna get him. We're gonna get you. You know we're gonna get you. And then we're gonna get him, White Al. We're gonna get you.
Wait, how long has it been? Oh my god, I gotta wrap this up. I'm the Nostalgia Critic. Like there's any other way this could end.
Oh, baby!